All right, welcome to Hoops Tonight here at The Volume. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope all of you guys are having a great week so far. We're going to do another little film session today, this time on the Golden State Warriors and their defensive run that they've been on. They've won 12 of their last 15 games, but in the 22 games since Draymond Green returned from his suspension, they have been the fourth best team in the league by defensive rating. And to me, it comes down to three specific things. One, just a ton of excellent perimeter defense personnel. A bunch of different types of guys too, but a ton of length and speed and athleticism. And also the versatility to defend in different coverages and against different types of perimeter initiators. Secondly, Draymond Green is the anchor. Specifically, his ability to, on the same possession, help in the paint while also getting great closeouts on three-point shooters on the perimeter. It's kind of like the ability to be in two places at once, which can be super valuable to a defense. And then lastly, the willingness to make out-of-area plays. This is something that a lot of teams in the NBA are not good at. And when you can combine it with incredible athletic tools, it can be devastating on the defensive end of the floor. And for the Warriors in particular, a bunch of good examples of that last night from the Bucks game. So I have 7 clips that I'm going to show you guys from the Bucks game to demonstrate these concepts. So on this first possession, 8-7, 9:49 left in the first quarter, the Warriors, off of a miss, are in some transition cross matches. What that means is just getting back in transition, guys ended up guarding different people. So even though Jonathan Kuminga started the possession on Brook Lopez, he's on Dame to start the possession. Even though Andrew Wiggins started on Dame, he's now picking up Brook Lopez, right? But one of the advantages there is neither guy is compromised in that particular matchup. And so that's not an issue. And in general, the Warriors have the ability throughout that starting lineup with Steph and Brandon Podziemski, who are both bigger and stronger than a lot of guards in the league, and then also Draymond Green, they have the ability to switch a lot of actions. And so this specific possession is a great example of the Warriors stagnating a Bucks offense with switching. First of all, we have Kuminga and Dame. We're going to get a Dame-Lopez ball screen, and you're going to see Wiggins and Kuminga immediately switch it. As they switch, notice the action is shut down. Now Dame is just dribbling again at the top of the key. No advantage is gained. Here comes Malik Beasley. You're going to see Brandon Podziemski just aggressively switch the action. Even though Beasley switches out of it, Andrew Wiggins is ready. He's in the passing lane. There's no angle there. Now Brandon Podziemski is pressuring the ball. Now notice how Brandon Podziemski made an aggressive switch. This is a key element of a switching defense because when you passively switch, meaning you switch but you hang back, there are opportunities to hit shots in that little transition period before the switch takes place. But because Podziemski actually jumps out on Dame, he forces Dame to pick up his dribble and take a backward step. That makes it so that he is in a compromised position for him himself to be a threat. That buys Wiggins time to recover back to Malik Beasley. Now the pass is going to get swung to Malik Beasley. Now we're going to get another ball screen. This time, Andrew Wiggins is on Malik Beasley, and Jonathan Kuminga is on Brook Lopez. We're going to get another switch. Notice Kuminga jumps out. It's a quick switch. On the switch, the ball gets swung back to Brook. Now Andrew Wiggins is on Brook. Malik Beasley cuts through. Now we're going to get a dribble handoff from Brook Lopez to Jay Crowder. Steph Curry's on him. Here comes the pitch. Wiggins is right there. And now at this point, there's only 2.5 seconds on the shot clock, and Jay Crowder has no choice but to throw up a shot. And because Wiggins aggressively switched, it's heavily contested, and it leads to a miss. So an entire possession of screening actions for Milwaukee with no advantage gained because every single defender that ended up jumping out onto the ball was capable of handling that matchup. It shut down Milwaukee's screening actions, stagnated them for a possession, and forced a miss. I want to say this is the very next possession, but we have Dame with Andrew Wiggins on him and Jonathan Kuminga on Brook Lopez, and Jonathan Kuminga is going to jump out aggressively on Dame again. Watch Dame's first dribble when Kuminga gets up. It is a backwards dribble. It is a retreat dribble. That's another advantage of making that aggressive switch. It forces Dame to be passive when he comes off the screen instead of being aggressive when he comes off the screen. Andrew Wiggins actually lingers a bit too long here, but because Wiggins and Kuminga are so damn long and athletic, Dame has no passing angle to get the ball through to Brook. Now, one of Dame's favorite ways to counter this is when he gets pressured on the ball, instead of trying to force the ball to the roll man, he'll make a quick swing pass and have the swing pass guy try to hit the roller as he's going down the lane. Watch Andrew Wiggins the second Dame gives up the basketball. He realizes he's lingered too long, and he's got the speed and athleticism to get back into the passing lane. Malik makes the pass, but Wiggins shoots into the passing lane and forces the turnover. So in these first two possessions, you're seeing a ton of different versatility, but also a bunch of speed in passing lanes from these Warriors defenders that just make it that much more difficult to capitalize on the openings that take place. Okay, so now we're moving to a later portion of the first quarter. Gary Payton's checked into the game, but also Kevon Looney has checked into the game. Remember, Looney is not a guy that the Warriors want to switch with. So Gary Payton has a bigger challenge in this specific coverage where he's going to need to chase over the top of screening actions. So we're going to start with a pitch to Bobby Portis on the left wing. And on that play, we're going to get a fake dribble handoff. Gary Payton's going to chase Dame through. Dame kind of fakes like he's going to set a flare screen for Patrick Beverley. This is designed to just to basically be a decoy. And then he's going to shoot up off of the pin down from Brook Lopez. So he's got to navigate the Brook Lopez screen. Watch out as he gets low and gets his arm out to just kind of get leverage as he gets around that screen. And then on the Bobby Portis dribble pitch, Kevon Looney actually steps back and creates space for Gary Payton to shoot the gap and meet Dame on the other side. As he meets him there, now Dame has the ball in a single coverage situation with Gary Payton, but he's just running a giant circle around the court. So because Gary Payton stayed attached to him, not only has Dame not gained an advantage, but he's also worn himself out on this trip running around in a giant circle. He's going to take a step back jumper going to his left. Great contest from Gary Payton. Watch the shot miss short. That's way short because he doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the legs because he just had to run in a giant circle and didn't get any advantage. He didn't get any advantage running around in a giant circle because Gary Payton stayed attached. It's one of the most difficult jobs in the modern NBA, chasing shooters and ball handlers around on screens. But Gary Payton, as a bench weapon for the Warriors, is literally one of the very best guard defenders in the league. He's great at this. So we've highlighted the perimeter defense personnel, right? But specifically Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, and Gary Payton. Although I also want to shout out Moses Moody, who had a good stretch, especially in the early fourth quarter on the defensive end of the floor. But now I want to talk about the anchor of all of this, Draymond Green. He is constantly on the back line, communicating coverages, helping when he has an opportunity. But Draymond Green, in my opinion, is the best center in the league at dipping down into the paint, but also having the capability of getting a great contest on a three-point shooter. Excellent timing, super long arms, and again, an effort thing that a lot of players are not willing to make. Okay, here we're going to get a Dame Lillard double ball screen with Gary Payton on the ball. Gary Payton's going to do a good job of chasing over the top, but we're going to get aggressive show here from Andrew Wiggins. On the show, Malik Beasley is wide open in the right corner. Right here where I pause, Draymond Green literally has his feet inside the paint. He's inside the paint. Malik Beasley is on the right wing, wide open, passes in the air. Draymond Green's foot is still on the paint, still down on the floor in the paint. Ball is in the air on the way to one of the very best spot-up shooters in the entire NBA. Watch Draymond Green get all the way out and get a great contest. As a result, we get an outside the rim miss. Literally doesn't even get to the inside portion of the rim. He forced Malik Beasley to rush his shot and forced him into a miss on a possession where he was in the paint when the pass was made to the shooter. This next possession is another example of the Warriors' ability to switch. That's how it starts before we get to the Draymond element. We have Gary Payton on Dame. We have Steph on Malik Beasley, and we have Jonathan Kuminga on Brook Lopez. Dame's going to call for Malik Beasley to go set a screen so that he can work against Steph in a switch. Steph brings another aggressive switch. Notice he steps out. He's out 25 feet from the three-point line when he picks up Dame. Now, Gary Payton, because he's got incredible speed and quickness, he's actually digging way down into Dame's right-hand driving lane. Look at Steph's body. He's opened up to force Dame to his right-hand side. He's trying to funnel him into Gary Payton and help right there digging down. So Dame counters this by making the swing pass to Malik Beasley on the wing. Malik Beasley has a driving angle. He can rip. There's a baked-in driving angle for Malik Beasley to rip through to the right since Gary Payton is playing the passing lane. But when he rips through, he just rips into a switch. And there's Jonathan Kuminga, who's perfectly capable of guarding Malik Beasley. Gary Payton peels off and switches onto Brook Lopez. So once again, now there's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Switching has blown up this possession for Milwaukee. Malik Beasley has to try to make a play on the bounce. He turns the corner on Jonathan Kuminga. Look at Draymond Green. Once again, pass is in the air. His left foot is in the paint, on the ground. And watch him close out and block the Bobby Portis three-point shot. That is a superpower. The ability to be in two places at once, to legitimately be in the paint and help until the pass is made and then still get great contests on three-point shooters out on the in the corners in particular. That is a huge asset to have when you're trying to build out an elite defense. And last but not least, the hero of the second half for the Warriors, Trayce Jackson-Davis, who had 3 blocks on Giannis. Trayce Jackson-Davis is running up the floor. His job is Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis hasn't even crossed half court yet. Jonathan Kuminga is standing in front of Giannis, and Giannis has decided, I'm going to try to go at Jonathan Kuminga. I've got an opportunity here. Watch Trayce Jackson-Davis make the extra effort to get back into the play and get the block at the rim. So in summary, like I've been talking about a lot this season, one of the strengths of the Golden State roster is that length and speed on the perimeter. And when you have combined that with Draymond Green, who's one of the best defensive anchors of this era, you can reach a pretty high defensive ceiling, which is what the Warriors have been able to do in their last 22 games, allowing the 4th fewest points per 100 possessions. And again, it's just wave after wave of athleticism, speed on the ball, the ability to switch multiple positions, flying around in rotation, the willingness to make out-of-area plays, and then Draymond Green's kind of unique ability to be in 2 places at once has allowed Golden State to build out, in my opinion, a defense that is capable of reaching a championship level. They have ground to gain on the offensive end, in my opinion, in order to get to that level. But on the defensive end, they have that sort of potential, and they are starting to unlock it right now.